Straddling the border between the United States and Canada, the 5 Great Lakes, Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, form the largest group of freshwater lakes on the planet, containing over 20% of the world's fresh water. The Great Lakes region is also rich with legends and lore, reflecting the cultural tapestry of the Native Americans and early European settlers, along with the extensive maritime history of the area. The landscapes around the Great Lakes are as diverse as the changes in the weather. You'll find sandy dunes, rugged cliffs, dense forests, and picturesque islands. And even though I've lived a cheese curds throw away from the western shore of Lake Michigan my entire life, I've never had the opportunity to explore more of the Great Lakes. And come to learn, most of the crew hasn't either. So let's go explore the Great Lakes, the best way we know how, on 2 wheels. So let's meet the crew, starting with Dan. Dan rode in the farthest, 1,250 miles one way from Rapid City with a night stay in Wisconsin. The Jersey boys, Bill and Wayne, made their 2-day trip through Niagara Falls and Sudbury for their 900-mile journey. Mike and Rob, they made their way over from Minnesota for their 550-mile trek. Doug went down and around and up through Michigan on his road glide. He had about a 470-mile journey to Sault Ste. Marie. Next we have Dennis, who rode in from west central Wisconsin for about a 460-mile ride in. And me? I was lucky enough to have my lovely wife join me for a portion of this adventure. We had an easy 384-mile trip. Of course, making a stop at iconic Lambeau Field before spending the night in Gladstone, Michigan at the beautiful Terrace Bay Hotel for the night. With some major construction completed on the hotel recently, it has amazing views and a fantastic restaurant with a totally cool vibe. Alright, but enough about that. We had to get up early and meet the boys, so we made up the last 166 miles into Canada to Sault Ste. Marie to meet them at our destination. It was Bill's very important responsibility to induct 3 new members into the club. After a fun evening of dinner, drinks, of course limoncello and fellowship, it was time for our first ride. Today we headed north from Sault Ste. Marie, up the Trans-Canada Highway, or Highway 17, 138 miles to our destination, Wawa, Ontario, Canada. After we topped off our tanks, only $1.67, well, that's per liter, but well worth it for the scenic ride we're about to embark on. So it was time for Bill to do his thing and take the lead. Our first stop, heading north, was Voyager's Lodge and Cookhouse, and it was home of some of the most delicious apple fritters you will find. It was a really cute, family-run type of establishment, with some incredible views of Batchewana Bay of Lake Superior. It really was a cool little place, and definitely perfect for that pit stop on a road trip. It has gas, groceries, a gift shop, takeout food, plenty of parking, and definitely easy access to the men's restroom facility. until Robin pointed this out. With the world's longest coastline, Canada is surrounded by oceans on 3 sides, dotted with countless lakes, rivers, and waterfalls. And even when we didn't have sight of Lake Superior, we were definitely reminded of the natural beauty all around us. Here we also have some extra shots of all the bikes, as this was the only day all 9 of us rode together. But more on that later. I just love seeing the entire pack all in a row. After one more rest stop, and after Wayne put enough sunscreen on his face, and more fellowship,
trying to keep it up, I'm just sliding, getting closer and closer to ditching back up the shore.
We ventured out on the last leg of our journey north to Wawa. The Wawa Goose was erected in 1963 to commemorate the completion of the Trans-Canada Highway through the region. The intention was to attract tourists to stop in Wawa since the highway bypassed the town's downtown area. The name Wawa is derived from the Ojibwe word for wild goose or land of the big goose. So after we fueled up at the Bangin' Burger and Chicken Shack, we headed back south to Sault Ste. Marie for our 138-mile journey. Of course, we had to stop to take some pictures along the way. So after an emergency dental situation to deal with, Doug unfortunately had to peel off and head back south to Chicago. But where I'm happy to report that full dental function has been restored. So the now 8 of us headed back stateside to explore a sliver of the Upper Peninsula, with our destination being the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum in Whitefish Point. This was an easy 77-mile trip. Well, that is, until after we got across the International Bridge. The route took us west and back north along the western shore of Whitefish Bay. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald disappeared in Lake Superior in 1975, and this next song immortalized the tragedy. I mean, come on, you didn't think you'd get through this video without hearing it, did you?
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew.
So after about a half day of riding, unfortunately Robin had to peel off because of her boss, who was not allowing any more PTO, headed back to Escanaba and ultimately back to Wisconsin. So the now 7 of us headed back to Sault Ste. Marie with a stop at the Soo Locks, which is the busiest lock system in the world by cargo tonnage, with an average of 7,000 to 10,000 ships passing through during the navigation season each year. So the next morning, we headed over to explore St. Joseph's Island. Situated in the North Channel of Lake Huron, St. Joseph's Island is really a cool part of Ontario, and it has a rich history with abundant natural beauty. The surrounding waters of the island are excellent for fishing, with species like northern, pike, trout, bass, and salmon. The island's marinas cater to both local and visiting boaters, enhancing its reputation as a recreational boating destination. The island lies along the northwest shipping channel of the St. Mary's River, a crucial part of the Great Lakes shipping routes. This channel is used by large freighters heading towards Sault Ste. Marie and ultimately onto Lake Superior. This island provides excellent vantage points for ship watching. And as you can see, we happen to catch the Algoma Sioux as it made its way up the channel into Sault Ste. Marie and on to Lake Superior. So day 4, we checked out of the Water Tower Inn in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, and headed back stateside to explore the Mighty Mac, otherwise known as the Mackinac Bridge. The Mackinac Bridge, often referred to as the Mighty Mac or the Big Mac, is an iconic structure connecting Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas across the Straits of Mackinac. It was completed and opened to traffic on November 1st, 1957, and took 3 years and 8 months to build. The Mackinac Bridge is the 5th longest suspension bridge in the world, with a total length of 26,372 feet. The main span between the two towers is 3,800 feet, making it the longest suspension bridge between anchorages in the Western Hemisphere. The main cables in the bridge contain approximately 42,000 miles of wire, showcasing the immense scale of the bridge's construction. And the towers? Well, they stand approximately 552 feet above the water, which is taller than the Statue of Liberty. Not too far from Mackinac City is the famous Tunnel of Trees. This almost 20-mile stretch of Highway 119 hugs the shoreline of Lake Michigan between Cross Village on the north and Harbor Springs on the south. The road is famously known for its canopy of trees that form a natural tunnel over the roadway. And although we experienced the Tunnel of Trees in early August, I can only imagine what it must look like during the fall when the foliage turns into bright hues of red, yellow, and orange. The relatively winding route has over 135 distinct curves. And the road is narrow, with no center line for most of its length, which adds to its unique charm. The Tunnel of Trees is definitely an experience of nature's ever-changing canvas through one of Michigan's most enchanting landscapes. We arrived in Harbor Springs. We fueled up with a burger, and we took in the sights, taking a tour of the beautiful marina, with boats well beyond my price range. But ultimately, we had to say farewell to Bill and Wayne as they headed back early to New Jersey to beat a tropical storm heading up the Atlantic coast. So Dan, Mike, Dennis, Rob, and I, we made our way south, about 167 miles until we reached our destination for the night. Unfortunately, Mike had an issue with his shift lever, but thankfully we had some engineering-minded folks with us, along with a generous hotel owner that gave Dan access to his shop. They got it working, while I provided support and encouragement, and of course, limoncello. The next morning, we headed a couple miles to the shoreline to the historic SS Badger, a car and passenger ferry which connects Michigan and Wisconsin by the way of Lake Michigan. Built in 1952 in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, the SS Badger launched in 1953 and is the last coal-fired passenger steamship operating on the Great Lakes. It burns about 30 tons of coal per day when in operation, producing a nostalgic plume of steam and smoke. So as we all parted ways, taking our own roads back to our respective homes, we leave behind the journey, but we carry with us the memories of friendship, adventure, and brotherhood. So cheers to health and happiness, so that we can add more chapters of laughter and adventure. And until then, may the memories be our compass, always pointing us back to each other so we can experience the excitement of doing it all over again.
Probably a point or two on the way back to Jersey, eh?
Hey, yeah. Yeah,
Hey?
hey. Hey.
You know, eh?
Hey, yeah. Hey. Hey. Fucking hey.